Analyst believes Myles Garrett's contract change signals something more. The Cleveland Browns may have framed Myles Garrett's recent contract adjustment as a routine financial move, but not everyone is buying that explanation. Some around the league believe it could signal something much bigger. Longtime AP reporter Tom Withers suggested the move might quietly open the door for future trade conversations, even if the team isn't openly admitting it. This, to me, and whether the Browns are doing this intentionally or not, is a bad signal to the rest of the league that we're open for business, the Withers said. I'm not saying that they're shopping Myles Garrett, but I think they're making it palatable for teams to come inquire and take a look at the menu. The clock is ticking. Garrett is widely viewed as one of the best defensive players in the NFL and remains the centerpiece of Cleveland's defense. Coming off a dominant season that included 23 sacks and another Defensive Player of the Year award, Garrett is exactly the type of player teams typically build around, not move on from. However, the timing of the contract changes has raised a lot of eyebrows. By pushing bonus deadlines closer to the regular season and restructuring future money into more flexible terms, the Browns have made Garrett's contract easier to move on from. That doesn't mean a deal will happen, or even happen in the future. Andrew Berry has made it clear that he has no intention to move on from Garrett. But in the NFL, things change quickly. It also comes at an interesting time for Cleveland. The team is in a bit of a transition phase, with questions at quarterback and a roster that is still in a light rebuild phase. If the organization were to ever consider a major reset, Garrett would be their most valuable trade asset by a wide margin. For now, Garrett remains the face of the franchise. But if this contract tweak truly is sending a message, intentional or not, it suggests the Browns may at least be willing to listen. And in the NFL, sometimes that's all it takes for something big to happen. Analyst believes Myles Garrett's contract change signals something more. In the ever-evolving landscape of professional football, contracts are rarely just about money. They're statements, signals sent not only to players and agents but to fans, locker rooms, and the broader league. When a star player like Myles Garrett undergoes a contract change, analysts are quick to look beyond the surface. What they often find is a deeper narrative about team direction, leadership, and ambition. At first glance, a contract adjustment may seem like a routine financial maneuver. Teams restructure deals all the time to manage salary caps, create flexibility, or reward performance. However, Garrett's situation stands apart. As one of the league's premier defensive talents, his value extends far beyond statistics. He represents identity, consistency, and elite performance, qualities every franchise covets. When such a player's contract is altered, it prompts a natural question: why now? One prevailing theory among analysts is that the change reflects a strategic shift within the organization. Contracts can act as a blueprint for a team's future. By restructuring Garrett's deal, the franchise may be signaling its intent to remain competitive in the short term while also preparing for long-term sustainability. This could mean freeing up cap space to acquire new talent, extend other key players, or invest in areas of weakness. In this sense, Garrett's contract becomes less about him individually and more about the team's broader vision. Another layer to consider is leadership. Star players often serve as anchors in the locker room, and their contracts can influence team morale. Adjusting Garrett's deal might indicate that the organization sees him not just as a performer, but as a cornerstone leader. By aligning his contract with team goals, management reinforces his role as someone who sets the tone both on and off the field. Analysts suggest that such moves can foster a culture of accountability and unity, especially if other players follow suit in making team-friendly decisions. There is also the possibility that this contract change hints at internal confidence or concern. On one hand, restructuring Garrett's deal could demonstrate unwavering trust in his ability to continue performing at an elite level. On the other hand, it might reflect a proactive approach to managing future uncertainties, such as injuries or shifts in performance. In either case, the move underscores how teams must constantly balance optimism with pragmatism. From a league-wide perspective, Garrett's contract adjustment may set a precedent. Other teams and players are always watching, learning how top-tier talent is valued and managed. If this change proves beneficial, whether through improved team performance or financial flexibility, It could influence how future contracts are negotiated. Analysts often note that the ripple effects of such decisions can extend far beyond a single franchise. Fans, too, play a role in interpreting these moves. For them, Garrett is more than a name on a contract. He is a symbol of hope and competitiveness. A contract change can be reassuring, suggesting that the team is committed to keeping its best players while striving for success. Alternatively, it can spark speculation about what lies ahead. This emotional dimension adds another layer of complexity to what might otherwise seem like a straightforward business decision. Ultimately, the significance of Garrett's contract change lies in its ambiguity. It is a move open to interpretation, rich with potential meanings. Analysts may debate its implications, but they agree on one thing: it is not random. In the high-stakes world of professional football, every decision is calculated, every dollar allocated with purpose. Whether this signals an aggressive push for contention, a careful recalibration of resources, or a reaffirmation of leadership, one thing is clear: Myles Garrett remains central to the team's identity. His contract change is not just a financial adjustment. It is a narrative device, hinting at what the organization values and where it intends to go. In the end, the true impact of this move will be revealed over time. Wins, losses, and locker room dynamics will either validate or challenge the analyst's interpretations. Until then, the contract change stands as a reminder that in football, as in life, the most important messages are often the ones beneath the surface.